Okay, so next VOD is from David. He's DPS main, but he told me he was forced to play Reinhardt, or not Reinhardt, but tank, main tank, and he wanted me to review this anyways. So yeah, we're gonna review this. Yeah, Mirror. So the muscle memory comes after. It's very normal that muscle memory takes like. If you let's say you practice it every day, maybe not every day, but 3 to 4 times a day, it would take around 3 to 4 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks to build up muscle memory from scratch. And that goes for anything basically. Is coaching your job? Yeah, my coaching is my job. Right now I don't have any team, so I'm just doing more streaming, more content and so on. So when the Winston jumps in like that, just shout like Winston feeding or kill Winston. Yo, Oliver. Yeah, it takes weeks if you to get like you know, to get the hold of it like completely. And that's if you start from scratch, like if you have never done it before. And once you get it in your muscle memory, it's essentially stored forever. But if you don't practice it, you just have to start practicing again for a week and then you have it. Says Reinhardt here, you can't care about the Widow because she will just shoot above your shield or she's gonna shoot next to your shield. And what you have to do instead is look around, see what's on point, and try to help your teammates by moving to them. Drop your shield, walk to them and so on. Hey Dan, how you doing, man? Good job looking around. But you notice that you shield only yourself, and since they're playing Hammond, they're playing Tracer, etc., it's your natural counter. So what you have to do is basically adapt on the fly, and that means it. I know it sounds very vague, but you basically have to come up with not a unique solution, but you have to do something crazy, you know, or not crazy, but you have to do something creative, like charge something or throw fire strikes and start like swinging so that they can't do whatever they want with the space. The way you hold the shield it's correct, like how you play against if you would play against Reinhardt or Road Dogg or something, because they are more they are less mobile compared to Hammond and Tracer. You wanna be on point after the cap because you can always expect enemies to come to you into the choke here. And right now you don't have any escape, so if you wanna stay alive, your teammates have to decide to help you. This spot is a perfect spot to hold on. Okay, so when you see the Lucio sleeping here, you could go for the pin, but I assume you didn't see him sleeping, and it was kinda late. But use your fire strike as well, as soon as it's off cooldown. And just go for a pin right now. Use your shatter, you basically have to stop the snowball. And you see, you used the shatter right as you had like 39 HP or something. Let's see what it was. So, a different moment you can use the shatter. Before you pin, you should shatter, because it's way easier to hit the pin. And you also have to think about the mines here. And always keep in mind that if you die as you shatter, you're gonna lose the charge. And you won't get the shatter out. Would you say Hammond is a main tank or off tank? It's kind of, I'd say. So if you think about Hammond, if you play Hammond, Diva, Tracer, Sombra, or Tracer, Doomfist, Tracer, Genji, and then you have Lucio and maybe Ana, or you have Ana Zen or whatever, or maybe Mercy, Lucio, I don't know. That's a really mobile comp, and then Hammond is as a main tank. He's the one taking all the damage and using his shield soaking the damage. But he's not a main tank if you place him with a Reinhardt. Not that you should, but I'd say he classifies more as a main tank than an off tank, because his kit is made to take damage and go far in, be the center of attention basically. And the same goes for Reinhardt and Winston. Reinhardt and Winston, they are made to be the center of attention in a fight. And obviously in some compositions you can ignore Winston, you can ignore Reinhardt, and the same goes for Hammond, you can ignore Hammond. But Hammond is not as clear a main tank as Reinhardt is, but I'd say he's more of a main tank than an off tank. You don't really pick Hammond to peel, and you don't really pick Hammond to do damage, because there's Diva, there's Hog, there's Cesaria. Right now you're way too far out. So you have a habit of, once you've cleaned up the enemies, you have a habit of charging out, and then you sit here in the choke and you take a lot of damage for free basically. So just go back in point and like chill and wait for the enemies to walk to you, because right now you're giving them help to come back into point, throw new mines, get a blade or whatever. And you don't really gain much, because you can't swing, you can't use your fire strike efficiently, and you're forced to use your shield. And you have to think about your backline as well. Your backline, they have to go out of position, they have to take very risky positions that the enemy can speed in. They can send a Genji to dash in, he uses blade and he gets another dash, and then your support line is basically shredded. You see here, Winston just ignores you, and now he has free access to your backline. If he would go for your backline, but yeah, the enemy team isn't really coordinated, so it doesn't happen. But you see, you went for one swing and you lost like 400 HP. So I think if you stay on point, it's gonna make you a lot more stronger. So the Winston, he's essentially walking in to your backline and doing whatever he wants. And you as Reinhardt, you're in charge of stopping the enemy front line from pushing in. Oh, I know, Ernest. Oh, David, I'm gonna save the VOD, so like you'll be able to see it anyways. But since I already started the VOD, I'm not gonna be able to just interrupt it and go for the next one. But yeah, Ernest, it's enemy team isn't coordinated. Welcome to gold. Yeah, I know that feeling, but the position that David has here on Reinhardt is weak for him. like his individual performance is lowered because of the aggro position, and as a result, it makes the support, DPS, whatever, in his team also in a lower, what's it called? Like they have lower output value for the performance. Like they can't, your DPS can't do as much if they have to play really far up like you, because then they also have to be careful with flankers. They have to be careful with a Winston coming in. What if someone engages on them? They only have like 200 HP or 250 HP, and they're gonna get one shot almost. In your opinion, how does one train mechanics and game sense? So this is great for David, by the way. Yeah, he's in ranked, so let's take this question. So let's start with the first question. How do you train mechanics? So the absolutely best way to train mechanics, and this is what pro players like Taimo, Tvic, Carpe, Effect, like every pro player says the same thing, thinks the same way, and it's to play the game. And what that means is you have to be, if you want to be a GM, for example, a GM DPS, you must practice frequently enough so that you build up the muscle memory that a GM DPS player has. And in order to get that time, you basically have to, let's say that you have a few hobbies. Maybe you shift away some time from, or attention or time, whatever it is, from one of these hobbies, so that you put more time into Overwatch. And you have to go in with the mindset of practicing instead of entertainment. And that's one of the most difficult things to shift away from when you're becoming a pro player, like when you're transitioning from rookie to semi-pro and then from semi-pro to pro player, because it might feel boring, it might feel difficult, and you have to learn to accept that it's just how it is, like with everything in life. Like anything you practice super long or a ton of times, anything you repeat 100 times, it's gonna become boring. And you have to make small goals for yourself. You have to set, so the long-term goal would be, let's say we want to hit diamond as a main tank, and we have 40 days or whatever, one season. Then the smaller goals, in order to not make it boring for yourself or frustrating, say that today I'm gonna measure out my stats. Let's say I'm gonna go in, play 10 games, 5 games or whatever it is, and I set that as the baseline for tomorrow, or for the next 3 days, or for the next week. Don't go longer than a week, because then it starts becoming too far away, the goal. And next day, try to die less, try to hit more shots, try to be more uplifting if you're focusing on that. And the mindset plays a big role for your mechanics as well. Like if you're going in with a stressed mindset, you're gonna autopilot a lot more, and you won't be able to think consciously about your own plays when you're playing. If you're happy, you're gonna be more prone, or you're gonna be prone to be more greedy or take more risks. And if you're negative, you're gonna be more, not negative as in bad to the teammates, I mean negative in the sense that you might be looking down on yourself or whatever it is. Happens to a lot of players, like they compare themselves to a pro player or something, and that makes you play, it makes you hold back your skills, if that makes sense. So you want to be focused on being confident and all that too. And then when it comes to game sense, that's the same thing, but it will be, so game sense is basically your intuition, and intuition is trained by trial and error. So every time you try to dash into Reinhardt as Genji, so if you're playing Genji and you dash into Reinhardt that's charging against you, and you realize that you're getting pinned and he's just stomping you, you will automatically learn that, okay, I can't do this. It's like burning your hand on a stove, on a hot stove. And every time you do something great, like you're popping off on Widow, or maybe you're getting 6-man shatters, you will remember it will go into your subconscious, and you will remember, okay, this position, I did this cool thing, and I can do it again. And it's all about trial and error with game sense and mechanics, of course. So yeah, that's how you practice that. Who is the best player you have coached? So I can't say best because each player is unique, and I don't look at players as best or worst, etc. But some of the greatest players I've coached is Taimo, Effect, Twick, Nevix, Rascal, all of the Fuel players, Costa. I've been with Space. Who more? XQC. A ton of players. Mangachu. I've been with Fnatic players even. Vonnefill, Mendo. Yeah. Seagull as well. Man, Seagull is my favorite, one of my favorite players. But yeah, let's continue here with the VOD. I gotta say though, like Seagull can break any bad environment with his laughter, and you know, his attitude is just so good. So that's like extra fun. Like it's hard to not like be cheerful when he is. Oh yeah, I know Oliver. It's like I never have favorites, like one certain favorite. I love all players, you know. Like you can't go in and prioritize someone less because you don't like them, because it's your job to. You're not getting paid as a coach to have fun or not, so it's just a bonus. So I want to look back here again. So yeah, you realize since you're so far up, they just walk past you. And what you can do to recover is go for a pin. Go for a pin in the back of someone. Thank you so much everyone tuning in, by the way. I hope you like the stream. Did you coach with Kaika or Arrow? I coach with both actually. I was with Fuel since stage 1, and then I was with Fuel in stage 4 as well. Yeah, for anyone new tuning in, by the way, I'm doing free VOD reviews for everyone basically, and you can send me in. If you type !VOD in chat, you see some instructions, and I take any rank, any hero, any role, and you can play on any platform as well. Will you be returning to the Fuel from Windspacey? I'm unsure. For the moment I will not, but you never know what the future might hold, you know? Maybe in season 3, season 4, who knows. I would ask for a review. I only have highlights. You can send me a few highlights. It's alright. Like if you have 1 or 2 plays you want some feedback on, I can review it. I can give you credit too. It's fun to look at the highlights. So just looking here at the. So since you're playing Winston, you can't take damage, and you have to be quick with your engages. And you scout the backline. If you see that enemies are here, it's very risky to jump right on this cross. So what you can do instead is jump straight and land on the roof. And then you zap people from above. You put down your shield. Maybe you can put down the shield here as well, so your teammates can walk in. But if you land on the roof, none of the tanks on low ground can reach you. And then you can decide where you're gonna go. You generally wanna go with your team to blow up McCree, or you wanna blow up, not blow up, but you're gonna go on Widow otherwise if you go alone. And since you see that McCree is getting pocketed by 5 people here, make the decision to go for the Widow. Have you eaten lutefisk before? I don't think I have, but I'm allergic to fish, so I'm not sure if I ever will. I get really bad allergies when I eat fish. I used to eat a lot of fish as a kid, and then it turned. So what you do here is just reset, and it's fine. So you have no ults coming up, or you have Moira ult coming up, but what you can do is here as Winston, call for your D.Va, or tell your Sombra to get into position, like she goes invis and she runs behind. And then when Sombra is in position, you ask her, are you in position, or something. And then you go with Genji and D.Va and even Moira. And you tell Moira to shift if she has to. But you just say, let's blow up McCree, let's blow up Widow, etc. And that's an easy way to coordinate a dive. Are you gonna try OWL again or Contenders? I'm gonna try OWL if I can to. I'm gonna try Contenders if I get the chance to. But if it's Contenders, it's gonna be an academy team, so I can get back into OWL, because that's my ultimate goal, and I'm not gonna give up on that. Good job here on Winston. You're doing great, man. You don't have to use your bubble here, because if you use your bubble so let me rephrase it. The best way to use your bubble as Winston, especially in ranked, is you want to use it when you think that burst damage is gonna come in. And right now you don't hear and you don't see anyone else except Moira. And Moira, she won't do shield damage. So just save your bubble so that you can engage quickly and snowball. You also have Primal, so you wanna go super deep with Winston. You just jump in, place bubble, Primal, and kill 2 supports. So you have your jump. You should just use your jump right here. Jump to the Widow, or jump on the point, like this. And if you, for example, you will not be able to reach Widow from this spot. So just activate your Primal right here. And do another Primal, landing here on Widow. And then you just lock her in. And for example, if you use your bubble like this, no one else is going to be able to go in with you. And I think you used the bubble because you went low on HP. And if you just go in quicker, like tighten it up, and then you don't have to use your bubble like this. It forces everyone in your team to play defensive. Yeah, no, David. That's the reason I mention it, because you shouldn't have to use your bubble like that as Winston, because you have your jump in order to avoid damage. So you can kind of think of it like this. You're playing the Winston like you played the Reinhardt, and it's really important to have 2 different playstyles. Because one has a shield and doesn't need cover from corners, from walls, etc. But the other one doesn't have a shield that he can hold up, which is Winston. And he's much more quicker. It's like if Reinhardt had super fast shoes. That's a risky jump you're waiting for. So by the time you jump like this, you've already lost engage. Or you've lost ability to engage. Good jump, good kill. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I go for her. Oh shit, they're on me.
Nice. Go for the McCree here. Ah. Okay, so you had a perfect moment here. Like, this is a perfect moment to pop Primal. Nice, good job. You accidentally messed it up for your Doomfist, but that's all fine, it happens. Keep fighting on point, because Mercy will heal you. I think Mercy's with you, at least. Good job killing Ryan. If you have a fight on point and you have healers with you, all you have to do is jump straight up, spin. If you try and spin as well, it's gonna be harder to hit your head. But just jump up and down, and that's an easy way for you to get some free seconds cut off from your bubble cooldown. Are we gonna get Christmas themed coming into December? Yeah, I'll do some Santa cosplay on Christmas, and I'll set up some Santa decoration on the stream. I don't know, not Santa, Christmas. I don't know. We can make something fun. I can go into comp and kill people with my Santa hat on, and I'll wear a fake beard. Yeah, of course, Bovi lover, bovine lover. Just type !VOD, and then you get some instructions on how to send it in. I've done several console VODs so far. Most of them, I think all of them have been on PS4, but you can send in Xbox as well. So again, as Winston, you have this habit of waiting a bit too much. You want to chase that Winston, like, don't allow him to escape like that, because that's a ton of ult charge for him. Good kill on Widow. What's your sensitivity at, by the way, David? Because I think if you have low sense, you can increase it to a bit more, and that way you can do these quick flicks upwards. Good job. You're farming them right now. Okay, that explains why it's a bit slow on the way aiming up. I think you can increase it to maybe 5 or 6. No, actually, no. Don't, because I remember you said you're a DPS main, so don't change it. For if I know myself, like if I play Winston at too low sense, my shoulder starts hurting, and it's really draining. And it's like that for many when playing Winston, because you have to like force your arm. You reload a bit too early here, because you can go for the Winston, walk forward, and melee as well. Yeah, I know, David. Yeah, I forgot it for like a second. You're doing pretty well. Like you don't have much to work with in this fight because it's such a long fight and the enemies are just coming back in, back in. Watch out for the mines, yeah.
Only one.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Okay, so that was David's VOD. So a few things you can do better. On Reinhardt, first point, you face dive and you face very mobile characters. So you have to shift away from this like static playstyle into looking around, like turning around, see what's up. And if you can't reach anyone, go for a pin, like do something crazy. And you only have one shot on first point essentially because it's such a long distance to run back in contest. And on second point, you want to be careful with how far you hold up, because you have a habit of getting caught up because of how aggro you are, and maybe you're so aggro because it feels like you want to farm some ult charge and with fire strike, hammer, etc. It could also be because you used to be far up with DPS because you can escape. And just keep in mind, when you use charge, you don't have any escape left, so you can walk up to the choke if you want to hold that far up. And I'm not saying you shouldn't hold up far, that you're not allowed to, because you're totally allowed to do whatever you want. And if you walk up, just save the charge so you can get back out, and communicate with your team that you're gonna walk up. Tell the team that you're gonna be shattering soon. Also, thank you so much, Verdugo. Thank you so much for the sub. So yeah, try to talk with the team and say, I'm gonna farm ult, so that they know that you're gonna come back and they don't have to drop their positions. Then on Winston, first point you did totally fine. You did pretty good, and just keep building on what you had on first point. On second point, you're waiting a bit too much in the choke, and you have your jump, and you're not gonna take that much damage as you think you will be, because it looked like you were expecting a lot more damage coming in. But it's like when you're talking in front of 1,000 people and you're silent for half a second. It feels like eternity, but it's actually just a half a second. And I think it's just an easy thing you can fix by looking at your jump and making a plan before you get to the choke. I'm gonna jump in quick. It really helps to talk with the team about what you're gonna do as well. So I usually tell players in teams this, like, talk about what you're gonna do, talk about the next fight, etc. And it gets the mind going. And as I mentioned, tighten it up, and yeah, just do whatever you did much quicker, and it's gonna have much more impact. So yeah,